الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد، Alhamdulillah ala ni'matil islami wa sunnah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you to another episode of Everyday Sunnah. Bidnillahi ta'ala, we want to look at a very important aspect and quality in this episode, and that is the quality of being in the middle. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was a shining example of being in the middle, taking the middle course, not being negligent nor being extreme, but being in the middle. Because this is what the deen of al-Islam is. It is a deen, it is a way of life, it is a religion that is in the middle. It is not too far to the right, nor is it too far to the left. It's not negligent, nor is it extreme, but it's in the middle. Imam Ibn Qayyim, he mentions in Mudaraj al-Salikin, he says, وَدِينُ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى وَسَطٌ بَيْنَ الْجَافِ عَنْهُ وَالْغَالِ فِيهِ. He said that the deen of al-Islam, the religion of Allah, the Most High, is in the middle. It is in the middle between being negligent as relates to it and between being extreme in it. Now, so the deen of al-Islam, it is in the middle between being negligent as relates to it and between being extreme in it. This is the deen of al-Islam. This is what is Islamic. So I'm going to reiterate, as was said in the past, and bidnillahi ta'ala will continue to say, there is no such thing as Islamic extremism, because the deen of al-Islam is not a deen that is extreme. The religion of Allah is not a religion that is extreme. And we're not called to be extreme, but we're called to be in the middle. So just like there are Muslims who are negligent, then likewise you have Muslims who are extreme. But that is not to be linked to Allah's religion. That's not to be linked to Allah's deen. The truth is not known by men, but men are known by the truth. We'll know which man is upon the truth by what? By way of the truth. But the truth is not determined nor defined by the practice of men. So I want you to understand that. So is there such a thing as Islamic extremism? No. Is there such a thing as Muslims who are extreme? Yes. But they're not following the deen. They're not following Islam. They're extremists. They're following something else. Just like those Muslims who are negligent, they are not implementing and upholding the values and the mandates and the commandments of the deen of al-Islam. No, they're coming up short. Are there Muslims who are negligent? Yes. Are either of these two ways praiseworthy? No. They are both blameworthy. So Imam Ibn Qayyim, he says that the deen of al-Islam is in the middle. Kalwadi bayna jabalain. It is like a valley between what? Two mountains. A valley between two mountains. This is what the deen is like. But not too far to the right, not too far to the left. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was a shining example of this. He illustrated this to us. Now, in his practice and in his statements and in his example, so on and so forth. Imam Ibn Qayyim goes on, he says, وَالْهُدَى بَيْنَ الضَّلَالَتَيْنِ. Guidance between two pieces of misguidance. Guidance between two misguidances. So what's misguidance? Being negligent. What's the other misguidance? Being extreme. Now, being extreme. So being extreme, it's not from the deen. Just like being negligent, it's not from the deen. وَالْوَسَطْ بَيْنَ الطَّرَفَيْنِ. It is the middle between two different paths. Each of these paths, dhamimain, they are blameworthy. So it is the middle between two blameworthy paths. This is what the deen is. Imam al-Qayyim goes on to mention, he says, وَكَمَا أَنَّ الْجَافِ عَنِ الْأَمْرِ مُضَيِّعٌ لَهُ فَالْغَالِ فِيهِ مُضَيِّعٌ لَهُ. He said, just like the one who is negligent is one who does not fulfill the commandment, but in fact loses it and leaves it to waste, then likewise, the one who is extreme, he also loses the command and leaves it to waste. He does not fulfill the command. هذا بتقصيره عن الحد. The one who is negligent, he does not fulfill the command due to him coming up short as relates to its parameter. Now, he does not fulfill the command because he comes up short. وَهَذَا بِتَجَاوُزِهِ عَنِ الْحَدِّ. And this one does not fulfill the command due to his exceeding of the parameter and going beyond the bounds. So they both miss the target. This one misses the target who is negligent because he comes up short, he does not reach it. The one who is extreme misses the target. Why? Because he overshoots it. You understand? So both of them, they are blameworthy. Both of them are blameworthy. The one who is negligent and the one who is extreme. So is there such a thing as Islamic extremism? No. But are there Muslims who are extreme? Yes. And are there Muslims who are negligent? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. The Prophet ﷺ, from his guidance, and the best guidance is the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ, he illustrated very clearly how we are to be in the middle. Don't take things too far, now, and don't come up short. As it comes in a hadith that is mutafiqun alayh, this hadith has been collected by Al-Bukhari, both Al-Bukhari and Muslim. It is a hadith that is agreed upon, and it's from the hadith of our mother Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, where she said, "Ma khuyira bayna amrayni," that he was not, meaning the Prophet ﷺ, he was never given and put in a situation where he had to choose between two different affairs. Naam. إِلَّا اخْتَارَ أَيْسَرَهُمَا مَا لَمْ يَكُنْ إِثْمًا. Never was the Prophet ﷺ put in a situation where he had to choose between two things, except that he chose the easier of the two, as long as it did not involve sin. So never was the Prophet ﷺ put in a situation where he had to choose between two things, except he chose that which was easier, as long as there was no sin involved. فَإِنْ كَانَ إِثْمًا, and if there was a sinful element involved, كَانَ أَبْعَدَ النَّاسِ مِنْهُ, then he was the furthest of the people from that sinful thing. Now, so the Prophet ﷺ, he showed us in his example how being religious, doing what is right, it does not involve tasking yourself with a task that is unnecessarily difficult. Being religious does not mean that you have to take the most difficult route, that you have to take the most cumbersome of paths. No, but rather, if giving a halal option, you take the easier of the two. Now, if both things are halal, you take the one that is easier. If there's something that is haram, then it's not an option. You stay away from it. But if there's something that is halal, there's a halal way to do something, then you do it in the easiest manner that is possible. Bi'ithnillahi ta'ala. You choose the easier of the two. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Inna ad-din yusrun," that the religion is easy. The religion is easy. Man, walan yushad ad-din, and no one will make it difficult. No one would artificially make it difficult. Now, No one will make it difficult. نعم. ولن يشاد الدين أحد إلا غلبه. No one will make the religion hard on themselves except that it will break them. Except that it will break them. And we have seen this, and we have seen examples of this, of individuals who make things unnecessarily hard. I know of an individual who I knew when I was much younger. Now I'm a youngster, who was like this, will make things too difficult. Everything in his mind was black and white. Now, and it will take him to making things so difficult that unfortunately for him, he was an illustration of what the Prophet ﷺ he mentioned. Within a few years, it burnt him out to the point where he stopped practicing Islam. To the point where he stopped practicing Islam. And this was an individual who was a student of knowledge, was accepted to the University of Medina, was studying in the University of Medina, but was such and so hard-headed, making things so unnecessarily difficult, that within a few years, he fizzled out, burnt out, dropped out of school, gave all of his books away, and stopped practicing Islam. Wa'iyadu billah. This is a real life story. I'm not going to say the individual's name because that is not the point. But this is what happens when you make things difficult, unnecessarily, for no reason whatsoever. The Prophet ﷺ, he warned us from the likes of this, showing us what are the end results of individuals who fall into this. So, from the shiny example of the Prophet ﷺ, both in his actions and what he showed us, na'am, and also what he taught us, is that what? We are to be in the middle. Neither negligent nor extreme. In the middle. Neither negligent nor extreme. This is what the deen calls us to. This is what Islam teaches. This is what Allah Ta'ala has revealed. If we're going to benefit as Muslims, then we have to be in the middle. Neither negligent nor extreme. Illa liqa. Until next time we meet. Astawdi'ukum Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.